Elon Musk released a few interesting messages about the USA and explained why, because of US government, a lot of policies are being established by non-professionals who do not know what they are doing. According to Musk, the current government of the United States supports the same ideology that destroyed San Francisco. Musk has criticized the policies of lawmakers, which Musk views as an overreach of centralized control and global governance. Musk has expressed concerns that such plans, often framed around environmental sustainability and social governance, could infringe on individual freedoms and economic autonomy. And specifically, Musk revealed what he will change in the new US government that will decrease government spending. Musk is guaranteeing that whatever US government is spending, after these changes, government will spend $2 trillion less in various sectors. But no one exactly knows how it will happen because there is no enough information available yet. However, after doing a lot of research, we analyzed available information, and maybe now we understand what Musk will change. And instead of $2 trillion, how exactly Musk will save at least $1.2 trillion. And we will go from the smallest budget spending cuts to the biggest and the most important ones that will definitely change life of millions of US citizens. But before we get there, let's start from the beginning. So Elon Musk shared a very interesting opinion to his Twitter followers, and Musk believes the latest efforts of US government are misguided attempts by elites to spend excessively and to dictate societal outcomes, potentially leading to more harm than good by stifling innovation and free market dynamics. Musk said, "Because we spent excessively, we don't decrease our budget expenses. Our legal immigration system is super slow and extremely difficult to navigate. It doesn't seem healthy. Everywhere you look, it's total chaos." Also, Musk expressed support for decreasing immigration expenses, saying, "I'm a big believer in immigration, but to have unvetted immigration at large scale is a recipe for disaster," he added. "So I'm in favor of greatly expediting legal immigration, but having a secure southern border." Musk thinks allowing large-scale immigration without proper checks is dangerous. And as Musk says, this type of incompetence should be avoided completely. Elon Musk spoke out about how they will eliminate budget spendings towards illegal immigration because Musk is in favor of legal immigration, especially for talented, hardworking, and honest people. He criticized the US immigration system, calling it too slow and complicated. And now, since Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy led a bold new initiative called the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, aimed at reducing bureaucratic budget expenses and eliminating wasteful government spending, Musk revealed what they will change in the new US budget that will decrease government spending. DOGE put out their first messaging on X yesterday. It said, "Working overtime to make sure your tax dollars are spent wisely." But how USA is spending its funds? Let's take a look. For example, last year, Senator James Lankford said about government spending. He said the National Science Foundation last year did a study of butterflies in Europe, so we funded with American taxpayer dollars last year. There was also a grant that was done to set up a display in Brooklyn for the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, not even an American band. Explaining the motivation behind the project, Musk and Ramaswamy stated, "Over $500 billion is spent every year without congressional authorization. They can't even account for where it goes." But how exactly Musk will save $1.2 trillion from government spendings? According to Musk and Ramaswamy, there are three major directions and sectors where government is spending excessive amounts of money, and Musk will change things so the new US government will spend less. For example, the first sector is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, commonly known as the Food Stamp Program, has been a cornerstone of federal social welfare for nearly 6 decades. In April 2023, approximately 41.9 million people in 22.2 million households, or about 12.5% of the US population, received benefits through SNAP. In fiscal year 2022, the government spent $119.4 billion on the program, with $113.9 billion allocated to benefits and $5.5 billion to administrative costs. Although spending surged during the pandemic due to expanded eligibility and benefits, it slightly decreased in recent years as the economy stabilized. However, SNAP remained one of the costliest welfare programs, trailing only larger expenditures like Medicare and Medicaid. Leaders like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, with their business-focused approach to government reform, aim to introduce changes that would reduce SNAP spending and improve efficiency. They proposed measures like tightening eligibility criteria, lowering benefit amounts, or enforcing stricter work requirements. In addition to cost-cutting, their strategies include integrating advanced technologies, such as artificial intelligence, to detect fraud, streamline benefit distribution, and reduce administrative expenses. Musk and Ramaswamy's influence can also reshape public accountability for government programs. Musk, through his Platform X, can expose inefficiencies to millions of voters, pushing policymakers to adopt reforms and ensure taxpayer money was well spent. Such reforms could lead to fewer spendings and significant savings, potentially reducing spending by 10% to 20%, which would translate from $11.9 billion to $23.8 billion annually. So here is around $24 billion from $1.2 trillion that might be saved from government spendings. The second sector that Musk will change to ensure less spending is the Affordable Care Act, ACA. In 2024, Medicare currently costs the U.S. government around $589 billion annually, and its rising expenses, along with subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, ACA, had drawn criticism from Republicans, who argued that government-managed healthcare was inefficient. Many Americans, especially those earning lower incomes, found it increasingly difficult to afford healthcare costs. For instance, individuals purchasing ACA marketplace plans faced an average deductible of $5,241, which could amount to 13% of the annual income for someone earning $20 per hour. Even employer-sponsored health insurance, SSI, which cover most working-age Americans, now include high deductibles, averaging $1,992 for single coverage. This trend highlights a growing challenge. Healthcare is becoming unaffordable for many, even as coverage expanded. Musk and Ramaswamy's approach to addressing these healthcare costs and reducing this government spending include privatizing aspects of Medicare or transforming Medicaid into block grants. Additionally, Musk and Ramaswamy's market-driven proposals focus on improving efficiency and reducing spending while maintaining access to necessary care. Addressing the root causes of healthcare disparities, such as better managing chronic diseases and reducing modifiable risks, can also be part of the solution. By combining innovative technologies and private sector efficiency with targeted reforms, they can work toward a healthcare system that is both more affordable and equitable. Such reforms can generate indirect savings around $150 billion annually by shifting the system toward market-based solutions. For example, they might promote health-saving accounts, HSAs, or other tools to give consumers more control over their spending. And now here is already around $175 billion from $1.2 trillion that might be saved from government spendings. The third sector that Musk will change to ensure less spending is federal expenses on education programs and student loan forgiveness, which they believe is unsustainable and fails to meaningfully improve educational outcomes. Today in 2024, broad student loan forgiveness proposals, while popular among some groups, came with staggering costs. Forgiving all federal loans would have cost around $1.6 trillion, while more modest proposals, such as forgiving $50,000 or $10,000 per borrower, would have cost approximately $1 trillion and $373 billion respectively. These figures made even limited forgiveness plans among the largest transfer programs in U.S. history, dwarfing the cumulative costs of key anti-poverty initiatives like supplemental security income or housing assistance over decades. Musk and Ramaswamy proposed tackling education spending by reducing spending for the Department of Education and shifting control to individual states. They believe decentralization would make education systems more responsive to local needs, cutting inefficiencies and fostering innovation. Additionally, they advocated for eliminating student loan forgiveness programs, arguing that such policies disproportionately benefited higher-income individuals and did little to address systemic issues in education. By focusing on targeted investments in K-12 education and vocational training, Musk and Ramaswamy suggested federal resources can be better utilized to improve outcomes for disadvantaged students, and also less money will be spent. It's important to point out that Musk and Ramaswamy might not be advocating for the complete elimination of student loan forgiveness. This is the issue that we will learn very soon. Instead, their proposal might focus on reducing or eliminating broader forgiveness programs, which are the most costly. The $1.6 trillion figure represents the estimated total cost if all federal student loans were forgiven, which is a worst-case scenario. If they were to only scale back forgiveness, the savings would be less, but still substantial, and it might go up to $1 trillion. depending on how much forgiveness remains in place. And therefore, after making all these changes, here is around $1.2 trillion in total that might be saved from government spendings. And that's it for today.